Looks like we are live. Yep, we are. Awesome. So, welcome to the stream. Um, I've got my friend here with me today, and he's very smart with regard to the BP. And today, the main topic that we're going to be focusing on is has Looksmaxxing gone too far? And what I mean by that is that obviously the Looksmaxxing community or the BP community, whatever you want to call it, I think it's all intertwined. It's been blowing up a lot recently. And I think that the new version, which is more the Looksmaxxing kind, has been diluting the community. They've been coming in, just doing all of this hype. Like they brought in a worse audience, like a bunch of teenagers who are just using their mum's credit card, and they've got a lot more free time. They're just watching 1,000 TikTok shorts and Instagram reels, and they're watching hours of garbage streams on other platforms like Kick, whatever it's called. But because on the internet, the only thing that is measured is the number of eyeballs. It makes it seem that like this is a good contribution. It's making it seem that this is like great. But today, me and my friend, we're gonna set things straight and talk about what's actually going on in the community and the weaknesses that this new wave of the BP, the new wave of these Looksmaxers, is having an impact, and whether they're actually true or not, or if they're completely off the mark when it comes to how to really have dating success in the real world. So, what's your initial take on like these new Looksmaxers coming in?
Yeah, I agree that they're taking it way too far. I think all you have to do is just basically the basics, which is like the low hanging fruits, like you said before. Like the gym, haircut, grooming, etc. Everything else is just over the top, too much.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, because we was talking about it before that it's the 80-20 rule, and this is a fact of all aspects of life. And for anyone who doesn't know what that means, the 80-20 rule basically says that in anything in life, 80% of your results comes from 20% of your efforts or 20% of your knowledge. And when it comes to dating, like all of this stuff, in order to maximize those results, the low hanging fruit that gets you 80% of the results, in my opinion, is obviously looks. Everyone knows that. That's been well established. And then the other two things that barely anyone talks about is exposure and market. However, it seems that this new Looksmax community that's come into the scene, they're just taking this Looksmaxing way to the extreme. Like, obviously, looks are important, but when they're talking about all of this crap, squint maxing and icing your face and plucking your eyebrows, like, this is not even going to have a 1% improvement in terms of your looks, and it's certainly not going to have a impact on your dating life, any meaningful impact. But if you took like the same guy who, and let's say he's starting at a 5 out of 10, you got him like a decent looks max setup, so he got in good shape, he does all this low hanging fruit stuff, he has a decent haircut for his face shape, and he's wearing decent clothes. Like, that's pretty easy to do, and that's in like the first three things of Looksmaxxing that you would want to achieve. Like, not all of these 100 other crazy methods that you hear from these new wave of BP guys, even the ones talking about surgery. It's just crazy. You get him up to that speed, and now let's say that he's Looksmax from a 5 to a 5.5 or 6, like overall SMV wise. Then now, if he just does, let's say, a bit of exposure maxing, he's going out to like bars and clubs once per week, and he's maybe doing some day game approaches, and he's also like on apps with a good algorithm and like premium version, like doing all of this exposure, that's going to get him well better chances compared to spending another 2 years watching all of these TikTok basement dweller Looksmaxers, teaching him how to pluck his eyebrows correctly. Like, if he's just a basement dweller Looksmaxer with no exposure, how is he ever going to be able to get dates or a girlfriend? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Just to set things clear, I wanted to say something that's actually important, and is that if you're not getting results on Tinder and like all the dating apps, then chances are you're also not going to get results in real life. So I think the looks maxers have it right in this department. Whereas if you don't have the minimum looks threshold to get consistent success on apps, then you doing cold approach and night game and all the other methods, it's likely you're just gonna be a cope because you know you're not gonna. It's just more of dating apps. Like night game and cold approach is just more of dating apps. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Mm, to an extent, like I think that there's two things to say. Number one is that a big barrier that really limits a lot of guys, even attractive guys, on apps is that they have garbage photos. Like, and that really messes up your algorithm, and it means you're gonna get barely any matches. Like that used to be me. I used to have really bad photos, like selfies and just whatever crap photos I had in my camera roll, and I wasn't getting any matches, and you end up in this death spiral because you got crap photos, the algorithm punishes you, and then you get even less exposure, and now you're like at the bottom of the card stack, and you're gonna get even less matches after that. So it just rigs it for you, and there's nothing you could do, even if you're average to above average. But let's say that same person, to use myself as an example, this is what I did. I then got good photos, and then I was able to get a few dates here and there from apps. But as a whole, I still think that apps are rigged. And the second thing that I wanted to say is that, even though I've had some success from apps, like I'd probably say if I wanted to arrange 3 dates this week, the easiest way for me to do that would be from apps. Like I know that I could get on these apps and arrange 3 dates this week. It'd be pretty easy. However, the expected value of those dates is really low because on average, the dates that I've gotten from apps have been more crap on average. The quality has been worse, both looks and personality wise, of the woman. A lot of girls are showing up catfishing their photos, and also because the woman has been on these apps and you met her from this app to get the date, she's got an entitled attitude, and I've seen this happen so many times. This is why on apps, and tell me if you have experienced this the same, that you get a girl on a date from an app, and the chance that you ever see her again is way, way lower compared to if you've met her in real life. And that's because these apps, they're like poison. They poison the woman's mind into thinking that she's got 10,000 options, and you're just way too replaceable. And if you're replaceable, you're worthless. So that's why they end up just falling off after that first date on an app, and it's just not as effective for me compared to when I've had dates from real life.
Yes, this is true. Apps will give you quantity, but they're not going to give you the quality. But what I was trying to tell you is that if you're getting absolutely nothing, like you're getting the worst results possible, 0 matches on dating apps, absolutely nothing, then in real life, you're probably not going to get any results as well. However,
Yeah, okay.
if you do get results on apps, the results that you're going to be able to get in real life is often going to be, higher quality woman.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Provided you have
Provided
high
you have
quality
the pictures,
photos.
of course.
So
Yeah, of
I
course.
think we're on the same page here. So if you've got good photos, because let's face it, the two most important factors for apps is number one, your genetic looks, and number two, the photos, because and both of those things need to be good to have a chance. Then if you've got good photos and you're still getting no results, then that means it's a genetics problem. It means that your genetics are getting rejected, or you're in a rigged market. Yeah. You're in a rigged market. Yeah, like so. Either the market is just completely rigged, where every guy's struggling, not even attractive guys, or none of the girls where you live were within your pheno range. Like I got a good feeling that if I went to, southern Spain or something, I would get barely any matches because none of these girls are within my pheno range. Even though, like you said, that if you went there, you would probably get a lot of matches. Because the girls are within your pheno range, and it's not a rigged market.
Well, the thing that you're saying is partly true, but I think it's more so going to affect your closing rate and not necessarily your matches. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in a place where there's not lots of women that have the same pheno, like who are within your pheno range, you might still you might still match with them, and they might still talk with you. But when it's going to come to closing and actually going on that date and having micro or macro MM, they're just going to fall off if they're not within your pheno range. Do you agree?
Maybe I'm I'm welcome to test this possibility, but based on my experience, because let's face it, in most cities nowadays, especially Western cities, there's girls of all phenos living in these cities. Like a few times I've been in America, a lot of American cities, they have Northern European phenos. They have Italian phenos. They've got all of these types. So those, say Italian girls, like the more tan woman who aren't in my pheno range, like they've probably seen my profile, but I've never matched with these girls in these locations. So if they're not matching with me there, not even matching with me, then surely the same thing would happen if I was in Italy or southern Spain. You know what I'm saying?
Well, perhaps, but I think that the main effect, like there might be a reduction on this aspect, but I think the main filtration is going to happen when it comes to the real thing. Because, like, if I went to, a non-rigged nation where the pheno has nothing to do with my pheno, I'll still get a lot of matches, but most of it's just going to be gesture. Like nothing's going to happen out of it.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Honestly, when you think about it, there's like no places where it's authentic northwestern European phenos that is non-rigged, apart from maybe Midwest America. That was the only place where I was consistently matching with northwestern European phenos on a regular basis and being able to arrange dates with them as well. But like those same women, their descendants, because let's face it, like the women who are in like Midwest America, they are just like English people and Irish people and people from Germanic descent, Scandinavian descent, like these people. So they're the same people, but
Wait, is your
if
voice?
I was in England, I would be getting poo-poo matches. Like nothing, like barely anything, because this place is so rigged.
Wait,
Or the matches I do get in this country,
kind of robot?
it's going to be dating
Robot
down
match.
so hard, and I'm not going to be matching with the attractive ones, the ones on my level. But when I've been in these non-rigged markets, like and the pheno of the woman is the exact same, like in these midwestern places in America, then I am getting the matches.
Wait, I think your voice is cooked. Is Wheat's voice cooked, guys?
Did you hear that?
Or is it my voice that's cooked?
Wait, what the hell is going on? Are you speaking? I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, let me find out what's
speaking,
going on.
but like I think your voice is cooked.
No sound is going through.
Hello? Wait, can you hear me properly or not?
I'll try calling him.
Sorry?
And now he's left the chat. Hello? I couldn't hear him when he was... Hello?
Hello? Now?
Speak now? Why is there no sound coming from me? What the hell is going on?
Can you hear me?
Stupid thing.
Why is what?
Ugh. Can anyone hear both of us right now? If you can hear me speak, and if you can hear both of us, then write in the chat. Because at the moment I can not hear him, but he might be coming through on the stream. I'm not too sure.
I can, but your voice is kind of robotic. I don't know why.
Okay. Wait, speak again.
Hello?
Doesn't seem to be working. Let me check what's going on, because it might be my sound that's messing up. Wait, speak one more time.
Yeah, I can only hear robot sounds.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me try some.
Right, yeah, so it seems my headphones are messing up, because
Wait, say something now?
Alright. Yeah, my headphones are messing up. Let me see what's going on.
What the frick?
Right, speak now.
Is this a Discord issue or something? Say something.
Yeah, hello? Hello?
Oh, okay. Way better. I don't know what was going on. I think
yeah, Discord it was the headphones issues, bro. That was the problem. For some reason my headphones cut out, but on the stream your sound was still being produced because I was watching the streaming software showing
Okay.
that your sound was still
Okay,
coming
all
through.
right.
So I've got no idea what that was about, but oh well, like 2 minutes of where it was messing up. But anyway, yeah,
Yes,
getting
what
back
were
to
we
the point.
saying?
So what I've noticed is that even when the phenos of the women that are within your pheno range are the same, like genetically speaking, for example, Midwest America is similar to Northwestern Europe, but because of the differences in culture, it can end up being so much more rigged in one place compared to the other. Because I would say, and tell me if you think this is true as well, that in England, a lot of the women, they just don't care about wanting to date a guy anymore. Like, boyfriends are out, and Matcha and Thailand are in. And this is true because when you look at the Instagram profiles of these women, in like the 18 to 24 age group, how many of them are posting images of a looks matched boyfriend on their profile? Barely any. But how many of these
Very
same
few.
women
Well, it's a
posting
minority,
trips
yeah,
to
I agree.
Thailand and posting their matcha lattes and going out to all of these
Bro,
nice
your
places?
your microphone.
Sorry? What'd you say? Wait, hello? Hello? Speak?
Now?
Uh, it's like breaking up
Yeah,
sometimes.
I don't know what.
Is your
Okay,
Wi-Fi
I think
being
it's good
bad?
now. Is it good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, my Wi-Fi is perfect. I don't know what's going on.
Alright, okay, yeah, go on. Say what you was gonna say.
Yeah, the women are definitely lower in liberal coastal America compared to Midwest America, where they have more of a family mindset. They want to have kids, they want to have a family. Even if you look at the average age of marriage, it's going to be lower in Midwest America compared to liberal America.
Yeah, 100%. I would say like one of the biggest factors that will tell you geographically if a country is going to be rigged or non-rigged is the average age of marriage. Because this is
Exactly.
obvious. When the average age of marriage is high, who do you think's chosen that? Who do you think has wanted to make it that they're not getting married till after 30? Is that like the men rejecting all of the women and
Women's.
telling the women, hey, I'm not gonna want to date you or make you my girlfriend. I'm just gonna focus on my own thing for these next 10 years, but maybe come back when I'm over 30, and then we'll think about starting this relationship and maybe getting married one day. Like, is that happening, or is it the other way around? Is it like plenty of men are spraying and praying and they're asking out every girl available, and the women are having a million options, but then the women are telling the men, no, I'm not interested. I'm traveling to Thailand now. I'm drinking matcha. I'm going having all this fun times with my friends, going out to bars, living my best life. All of these phrases. Like, which is it?
Obviously, it's women. Women control the dating market. Women control everything.
Yeah,
They
they
control
control all of the
relationships.
rules.
They control micro MM. They control everything from start to finish.
They do. Yeah.
Even the breakups. Most breakups are initiated by women. 80% of breakups are initiated by women. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but
70 to
makes perfect
80%.
sense.
Statistical fact.
Yeah, you're 100% right though. Like, everything in dating is the woman's power, the woman's control. There's zero aspects of dating where it's better to be the man and worse to be the woman, because it's just at every stage you never want to be the man. You never ever want to be the man. You always want to be the woman, because even if we just break it down stage by stage, like the approach, women get approached more than men. Men essentially never get approached unless you're a top 1%. But even then, let's face it, a top 30% woman, even like top 60% woman, is going to get approached more than a top 1% man in public. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine a
Yeah,
top
that's true.
60% man, no, a top 60% a woman and a top 1% man go to a club or a bar. Like, who's getting approached more?
I think, okay, this is going to be a nuanced answer. I think the top 1% man is going to get approached by fewer than the top 60% woman. But the women that are going to approach the top 1% man are on average going to be higher quality than the men that are spamming the top 60% women.
I don't know, bro. Is that true? Because
but relatively, they'll be lower quality though. Like let's say you're a top 1% man, you're like, the best looking guy in the club. You're gonna get approached by girls from marginal to maybe upper marginal. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like,
Maybe
a
occasionally
top
premium.
one. This is facts. A top 1% man, is never going to get approached by a top 1% woman in a club or a bar, but a top 1% woman is occasionally going to get approached by a top 1% man in a club or bar.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is the woman is like most in terms of the split of guys that are gonna be approaching her. If she's let's say SM submarginal, like what would you say the split's gonna be?
If the wait, say the question again.
Woman is submarginal. If the woman is submarginal, what split of tiers of men, like in terms of percentages,
I would say it's
approaching?
going to be anywhere from junk to maybe the occasional upper marginal guy is going to come up to her. I would say if a girl is submarginal in a club, then it's going to be probably 30% junk guys approaching her, 40% submarginal guys approaching her, and then 25% marginal guys approaching her, and then 5% upper marginal guys are approaching her.
Yeah, but that's
Premium
also
guys will not approach her.
That's also like very, very dependent on the night. If it's a non-rigged night, good venue selection, lots of non-superficial women that don't want nothing but premium, and the ratios are good. You can walk around, scan the types of women that are going to be good potential for you. It's not too dark, so women can see your face. All these variables. If everything's perfect, then the women's leverage is going to be less because it's rigged in the favor of men.
Okay,
But
but realistically, these nights are so rare. Like, let's just take an average here.
They are.
The average night in any club across the West is going to be, the average ratio I'd say is 75% guys, 25% girls.
Yeah, that's true.
First and foremost, and the main point is for this woman who's submarginal. Already, just the fact that she's a woman in this club and it's 9 times out of 10 rigged in her favor, way more thirsty guys in this club than girls wanting to meet guys, then there's already dating up potential for her. It happens all of the time in clubs that a woman's submarginal, and just because she's female, then there's plenty of dudes who are above her looks level who are coming up to her because, these guys, they're in a rigged environment. They're like, oh, crap. The good girls, the attractive ones have rejected me, and they've already got jesters who, like, it's going to be difficult for me to try and approach her. So now I have to see which single girls are available. And there might only be 3 or 4 girls in this whole venue where they're just an all-girls circle, no jesters and no men that are already with them. So then if you're like a marginal or upper marginal guy who wants to meet a girl on this particular night, then you might need to go down to the submarginal woman. So just because it's rigged in a woman's favor, there's already dating up potential, but this never happens the other way around.
Yes, this is true. Absolutely. Like if you're a man and let's say you're marginal, upper marginal, realistically, you're barely ever going to get approached in a club by a looks match. Like it might happen, like to me personally, I don't know about you, but to me, it probably happened less than 3-4 times in my entire life that, a looks match. And you know me, I go out a lot. Like,
yeah,
I go out at least once a week.
Yeah, I think
So
this is
imagine
what
over a
qualifies
lifetime.
us so
No.
much. I think this is what qualifies us so much because we have got giga exposure, like so much compared to
Top 1% exposure.
Yeah, I'd say top 1% exposure. We've done so much exposure. We've seen so much crazy stuff. And whenever I've got approached by girls in clubs, they've been at least 2-3 points below me.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
It is.
Most of the time, it's going to give you choosing signals. Like they're going to look at you, give you eye contact, and you're going to go and talk to them. And
yeah, I'd say when I'm getting choosing signals from a woman, like, when I'm Walkmaxxing in a club and, a girl like looks around and like makes eye contact with me, and then I know it's a high expected value approach, I'd say, that has a capped range for she's usually 1 point worse than me. Looks matches don't do this kind of thing. But when it comes to like the woman is direct approaching me, that's usually been a capped range of 2 3 points below me. So like, the
Yeah, that's very
force.
true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah, exactly. Like, women do approach men. This is what a lot of people don't understand, that women do approach men, but when they do, they like they're not just going to approach their looks match. Like, are you guys stupid? Think about it this way. If a woman is already getting approached by guys above her level, why would she, if she's going to go out of her way to approach a guy, why would she approach her looks match? If anyone doesn't
That's true.
understand
But
this, then they're so dumb. Like, of course, if a woman is going to approach a guy, she's going to want to try to get better compared to what is already approaching her. And if women are already getting approached by guys better than her, so if there's a submarginal woman, she's obviously been approached many times in her life by marginal guys, so her eyes are probably on the upper marginal dude. And occasionally those upper marginal guys might approach her. It doesn't always work out. But if she, wants to approach a guy, why would she just approach a submarginal guy who's on her level when there's dozens and dozens of those who have approached her before? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it barely ever happens. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. So, this is what annoys me, because people think like, oh, if you just become premium, if you just become 6'2" Giga Chad, then everything in your life is going to be perfect and it's always going to be easy, and you're never even going to have to approach a woman because you're just going to be handed a Giga Stacy from the gods, and life is perfect and everything's great because you're premium and your life is premium. It doesn't work like that. Because, okay, you know that premium guy who was in France. You know the guy who's got the premium eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you said that in night game situations, he's got approached a lot of times, right?
Yeah, but even then it's quite scarce. Like, it might happen once every 5 night games, perhaps.
Okay, yeah, and this is the main point, though. When it does happen, what's the average dating downness that he has to deal with for when the woman approaches him?
Good question. Probably 1 to 2 tiers in general, from what I've seen.
Obviously, exactly. I knew this is gonna happen.
Not 1 to 2 points, 1 to 2 tiers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it's gonna be.
By marginal, upper marginal, sometimes upper marginal. Rarely.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it's gonna be 1 to 2 tiers below. It's not gonna be premium approaching him because they've already got tons and tons of options. So what's gonna end up happening is that these marginal girls, they see the guy who's premium and they want him. And they know that there's a very low chance that he's going to approach her. So she thinks, wow, my only chance to get that guy would be if I approach him. So then she will approach the guy who's 2 tiers better than her. The 5 out of 10 woman approaching the guy who's an 8. That's the only way that she can have the exposure with him.
Yeah, that's true. But just to be clear, like, I still think that 95% of women never ever approach a guy. Even if you're like with them and you're gesturing for them and you're like watching them what they're doing and they say, oh, I think this guy is hot, and then you're like, okay, I'll approach the guy for you. 9 times out of 10, I promise you, they'll be like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I still think as a man, like, if you want to maximize your chances, you should approach. If you can't approach, then honestly,
that's a matter of low MM. Like, think about it this way: like, why those women, even if they see a guy they like, why don't they approach him? Or why don't?
No. Because it's not. No, this is not low MM. It's because they are afraid of getting rejected. Of getting rejected. But if the guy were to approach them, they would accept him.
Okay, I have a different opinion. I think the very fact that men approach in society, it insinuates that their MM, their mentality max, is automatically higher compared to the women, because they are. Because to have this mentality max, like if we was going to make an equation for mentality max, it would be the desire of the outcome subtracting the pain of rejection, right? So
yes,
for men, that equation might look like, let's say there's some upper marginal guy and he sees an upper marginal woman, then he thinks, oh, if I can make that girl my girlfriend, if I can, be able to go out with her, get her on dates and see what happens, that might be 100 points of happiness for me. And if I get rejected by her, which is going to happen vast majority of the time, like 95 times out of 100, then that's going to be minus 3 points of unhappiness. So you do the maths on that, then on average, he's going to get a lot of happiness expected value from approaching that woman. But from the woman's perspective, if she's an upper marginal woman and there's some upper marginal guy, then because women don't even care about having a boyfriend that much, and they know that there's a million other options waiting for them around the corner, she can choose when she wants to commit to a guy at any moment, then she might have 10 points of happiness from getting in a relationship with that guy. But in terms of the unhappiness, the pain of rejection, I would say for women it's higher because they tend to have more fragile egos compared to the men. Men typically brush off rejections more easily, but women, they get more upset if they get, in the rare cases they do get rejected by a guy. So that might be like -8 in terms of, unhappiness. So you do the maths on that, that's like 2 points net in terms of happiness for the woman, but it's over 95 net points of happiness for the man, in the outcome that it works out. So based on those grounds, then why would a woman ever want to justify approaching a guy when there's 2 net points of happiness? That's pocket change. It's nothing. It's not even worth putting in the effort and overcoming the risk of the pain in order to try and get that extra happiness to your life.
Well, she wouldn't do it because the burden of rejection is more powerful than the potential happiness that she's going to achieve. So because her MM is low, she's not willing to go through these rejections like men would be willing because men have a higher MM.
That's simple. Well, there's that, but also think about it this way: even if a woman is upper marginal and she sees an upper marginal guy, then she would think, why would I need to approach this upper marginal guy, risk this pain, when I literally got asked out by 5 upper marginal guys within the last month?
There's no gain from it as well.
Yeah, no, but think about it. You can have a pain-free way of guaranteeing the thing that you want if you just...
Because men are going to approach.
Yeah, because there's going to be upper marginal guys on her looks level that are going to approach her. So why would she need to go the painful version of trying to obtain that when she could just go the pain-free way of having that?
Yeah, the painless version.
Yeah, because a woman...
She's going to get inbound
exposure.
Attention.
Yeah, she's going to get inbound exposure. Yeah, like
passive exposure.
I would say in the last 2 years, one of the most brutal BPs in my life has been that women consistently get approached by men on and above their looks level.
But that's like obvious. Anyone with half a brain that went to a club before and looked around for like 5 minutes would be able to tell you that's true.
No, but not even just clubs. Not even just clubs. Everywhere. On apps, which is the main way that people are meeting nowadays. A woman's inbox filled with guys who are above her looks level. And I know this is true because I've done my own bloody experiments. I've done experiments of marginal women. And there's already within the first day, there's a bunch of thirsty, desperate guys on her level and above her level who are matching with her and sending all these messages. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, the leverage is 100x. It's like women's leverage on apps is 100 times her equivalence leverage.
Yeah, because and why is it like that? It's because these apps are rigged. It's because these apps have a 3-to-1 ratio. And I talked about this in my dating down video, that most guys end up forced to date down because when there's rigged ratios and there's 3 times as many men compared to each woman, then the men are forced to date down. That's their only choice in order to compete because if there's like 3 8s who are guys for every 1 8 who's a woman, then assuming one of those 8 guys gets to 8 women, then those other 2 8 guys are now going to have to go for the 7s or the 6s. That's the only way. So, and then when the ball starts rolling and the negative pressure, the downward dating trend begins, then it's like it never stops and it just continues and getting worse and worse and worse until the guys at the bottom, there's no more women left for them who are mentality maxed anymore. And that's when you reach the part of Tinder where it says you've completed Tinder, there's no more women in the card stack. If you reach that part, then you failed at Tinder. It means that you weren't one of those top 33% of guys who found someone off Tinder, because these rigged ratios is 3 men for every 1 woman. That means 2 men are automatically going to get left out.
Yeah, and the reason to begin with that there's more men than women not only on apps, but in nightclubs, in bars, and basically every single environment where you're meant to be dating. It's because women by nature have a lower than men. Women by nature desire the opposite sex way less than men.
They do, and that's even more exacerbated nowadays with all of the conflicting things for a woman to have a mentality max for. Because think about it, 100 years ago, the reason why all women got married off 18, 19, 20 years old, like the average marriage, I think, in the 50s was 21, is because the only thing to do as a woman, your only life mission, was to get married to a guy. So it was very balanced, it was a lot more equal, and every man was pairing with every woman. But nowadays, because the modern technology and systems and economy has given women so much more other options that are outside of the realm of dating, it means that a lot of women are choosing these other aspects of life, such as travel, such as university, such as, career maxing and, just spending time with friends. And they've even studied this because they said in these studies that when living standards improve and people have more time and money to spend on other things, men just double down and reinvest all of the extra time and money they have into increasing their dating value. They just double down on this. So they, spend the surplus time on going to the gym. They spend the surplus time getting a nicer car, getting, better clothes. And all of these things are in the name of trying to increase their dating value. They're just trying to increase the chance that they can find a woman that is on their level. Meanwhile, the same studies showed that when women have this surplus time and money, they spend way less time on searching for a guy, and they think, oh, I'm going to spend all of this time and money on my own fulfillments, my own happiness, my own experiences like travel and Instagram and stuff like this.
Yeah, but they don't need to spend that money on increasing their mate value because they're going to get, a whole lot of inbound attention, inbound exposure anyways. They're going to get a lot of passive exposure just by existing. So there's no reason for them to
Yeah, I think one of the biggest toxicities of these apps is that it's basically given the women of society to choose when they want to meet a guy at any point in their life. And because of that, the paradox is that it means that women delay dating even more, right? Because on paper, you would think it's the opposite. You would think, since women can find a guy when at any point they want, then it means that they're going to find a guy very, very fast because they don't need to wait and be in this situation like how things were 40 years ago, where it might be weeks or months since a woman would get a new exposure with a guy on her level, because there weren't these apps, there weren't these clubs. It was, maybe 5 guys at your workplace, some of whom are already taken, another 2 are junk. So you're waiting potentially months for a new guy to join your work who is on your level. And, she would be in this limbo of waiting a lot of the time. But then, these apps come along and says, oh, you don't need to wait for a guy anymore. You can have a guy whenever you want. You can have a guy right now. But this causes the paradox because it means that now women have the knowledge that they can find a guy whenever they want. Then it means that they can think, oh, well, I don't need to have a boyfriend today. I'm not in the mood for that, really. So I might as well just focus on some other things that I'm enjoying in life at the moment. I might as well just do my own stuff, because I know that in 4 years, 5 years, the same dudes that I rejected all those times ago, they're still going to be there to kiss my toes.
Yeah, but here, so basically what you're saying is that, the churn rate in terms of options has been massively increased for women recently compared to 100 years. But here's the thing, it's also been increased for men, or at least above average men. That is, like, it's the same thing for men as well. Like, back in the day, you as a man might, meet 2 new options per year, whereas now on your dating apps, you have like, dozens of matches. So like the churn has increased both ways, but I think the consequences it raise it more for men and women.
You have, but all this has done, let's not overcomplicate it. All it's done is just made you more replaceable. This is what these apps have done. They've just told women that men are now very, very, very replaceable. And when you're replaceable, you're worthless. That's all it's done. We don't need to make it complicated, because back in the day, before these apps and bars and clubs where women are getting sprayed and prayed by 100 different guys on any given night, men weren't as replaceable because if you asked a woman out, you was in a position of leverage because you're essentially saying to that woman, hey, look, I'm on your level, so you'd be wise to give me a chance because you might not get asked out by a guy who's on your level for the next year. So now it's take it or leave it. But today, because you've got all these apps that have rigged it so much and given women gigger options, it means that you can't negotiate in the same way as a man. And, if you ask her out and you're like, oh, hey, I'm on your level, so, you should give me a chance, then the woman will be like, but why would I want to go with you right now when you're still going to want me in a few years' time and I've got 100 other dudes who are also the same level as you who want me right now too. So I'm in no urgency. If anything, if I want to go for a guy right now, I'm only going to do that if it's a really good deal and he's 1 to 2 tiers higher than me. It's premium or nothing. It's Chad or nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. That's why the marriage rates have increased dramatically.
Bro, everything is obvious. Look, when you spell it out, like it couldn't be more simple. Because to know this is true, how many looks-match couples do you see in day-to-day life?
Well, it depends on the location. If we're talking about non-rigged market,
it's more
so Eastern Europe or Midwest America. Would you agree if I say it's about 50% looks-matched couples, and of the remaining 50%, it's about 35% the guys dating down, and then 15% the guys dating up. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd pretty much agree with those statistics, 100%. But when it comes to the rigged markets like England, or coastal America, I would say it's more similar to 80% dating down and 15% looks match, and then 5% non-primal jester. Not even the man is dating up. These aren't real relationships. They're phony relationships. It's just non-primal jester.
Yeah, that's mostly true. The amount of women who date men for gesture is insane, especially when they're young as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens more so when the woman is dating a guy who's below her level. Because she's got all the leverage in that relationship. If a woman's a 6, if she's upper marginal and she's with a 5, then she's in no urgency. She knows she's got all of the power. But she's just going in this relationship for jester. Yeah. And also, bro, think about this. Think about this.
Yeah, that's true.
This is like really good point. Because I know that the more options a woman has means the less interested she will be, the lower her mentality max is. Because based on your experience, what women, let's assume that there's 2 marginal women, one has 100 Instagram followers, the other one has 2,000 Instagram followers, and they're both marginal looks. Which one is more likely to put effort into conversation, meet for a date, potentially start a relationship with you?
The one who has less exposure, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. This is obvious. Every guy who's even tried exposure, you don't need to have a big sample size to know this is true. Everyone knows that at the same beauty level, 2 women can both be marginal looks. The one who is more low key, has a small Instagram, has never been on dating apps, and never go into these clubs, then she always gives better choosing signals, puts more effort in. But the one who's still marginal, but has 2,000 Instagram followers, and she thinks she's premium, then she always gives marginal treatment.
Yeah, that's true, because they have more exposure, and so they're more aware of like just how much abundance they have compared to the girl who, stays at home, watches Netflix, maybe goes out to a club once every couple of months, which is actually the majority of women. The majority of women barely go out to nightclubs. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of women don't because, it is obvious based on the ratios. If there's 3 times as many guys at clubs than women, then that means that for every 1 woman at a club and 3 guys at the club, there's 2 women sat at home.
Yeah.
This is like basic maths.
Okay, I have lots. Most of my friends who are female, the vast majority of them barely go out. And then they're not even on dating apps. They're just low MM.
Yeah, it's just
all
low MM.
Study, maybe go out once in a blue moon. They're not interested in men. they've had chads hit on them. They've had everything, like, handed to them on a silver platter. Yet they still didn't pick it up.
Exactly. I know. It couldn't be more easy. It couldn't be more handed to the woman. Like, there's literally guys above her level who are offering to start this relationship with her, but then she still rejects him. She still finds a way to, kick the can down the road and then, wait until it's later in her life. It's always on her terms. And, this ultimately comes down to just because if you're more replaceable and the woman knows when you're more replaceable, because that's what these dating apps cause. If the woman who have got a lot of exposure, who's got 2,000 Instagram followers, then if you ask her, out or you try to approach her, then she has a greater knowledge of your replaceability because she's got 2,000 followers. A bunch of dudes have hit on her in the past, and because she knows that you're more replaceable, then it means that she's going to have a lower value perception of you. She's going to think that you're more replaceable and more worthless. It's simple.
And then she's going to treat you oofy doofy like that, a cash situation.
Yeah, she's going to give you more marginal treatment.
She's not going to respect you. Oh, and just to say something, a girl can actually be primarily attracted to you, but still like not respect you because she knows that you're replaceable. Like you have to separate the two things. Primal is something, and replaceability, like a girl valuing you as something, and her having primal for you is something completely different. A girl can have primal for you but not respect you, and a girl can respect you and not have primal for you. They're not the same.
Yeah, I agree, bro. This is so true. Like, this is why, oftentimes, if you are in a rigged market, like, you can occasionally get a woman who's on your level, maybe even a point above your level, one time as a one-off thing. Because, like, women aren't only attracted to HM gigachads, premium guys.
No.
Like, if a woman is upper marginal, she's probably going to have some level of primal to a guy who's upper marginal as well. Like, she's going to be primarily attracted to him. And in this situation, then, she might think like, I'm feeling it at the moment. I'm going to go with this guy for this one night. Why the hell not? Because I'm feeling this primal, so I might as well do it. That's her mentality in this moment. But then she wakes up the next morning and thinks like, he was only my looks match though. I can do better than this. I've been hit on by premium guys before, so why would I settle for my looks match? I might as well get rid of this guy and wait for the premium guy to come along. And I know he'll come along because I've been hit on by these premium guys in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had these situations, like even in relationships, I've had women who are similar looks level to me, and I know that they were giving me primal. Like, I'm not delusional. I'm not an idiot. I know when a woman is highly attracted to me, but I could just tell from the way she treats me from day to day. And it wasn't a rigged market, by the way. So Paris, which is rigged. The way she treats me, it's like she's using me for my body. Like I'm like her. You know what I mean? Like she's just using me for her own pleasure.
It's a toy.
Sorry?
You're just a toy. You're just a temporary placeholder. Because look,
primal for me. Yeah,
I know. Look, let me explain it simply. This is as crystal clear as it gets. That she has primal for you because you're an attractive guy, and she can obtain this positive thing for herself. However, because the market that you're in is so rigged in her favor and it's rigged against you, then she knows that if she stays in the market long enough, there's going to be guys better than you who are going to come up to her and have inbound exposure with her. So even though she's got primal for you, it's not the thing that she's going to want forever because she knows that she can get better further along. Like, think about it this way. You might enjoy a sandwich with just plain jam in there. You might enjoy the sandwich. You might have like a positive taste, feelings for this sandwich. But you're not necessarily going to want that forever. You might like enjoy the sandwich for now because you're like, oh yeah, I'm hungry, so I'm going to enjoy the sandwich while it's the only thing that's available. Like, because, it's in my house, it's convenient, and I don't want to go to the shop because that's going to take effort. But, I'm hungry now, so I'm going to have this sandwich for now. But then, you a few hours later, you're not going to want that because you're like, well, even though I did enjoy it at the time, I know I can have better food. I can go to the shop and buy something that's even tastier. And that's well within my vicinity. Like, so, or when a woman, even if she has primal for you and she would enjoy, like, whatever experience it is with you, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to lock her down, especially when the market is rigged in her favor, because she knows that she can get better still.
Yeah. But there's also another aspect is that some women, they actually want to treat their boyfriends in a bad way. And the only way for them to be able to do that is, if the market's rigged in their favor, is date their looks match. Because if they were to date someone who's better than them and treat them in a bad way, then that's just not realistic, So they'd rather date their looks match and have like leverage over them and like make them
Yeah,
feel that they're replaced.
exactly. Like,
Do you
this is
agree?
why I say that whenever you see these rare couples where the man is worse than the woman, so the woman is dating down, and these are very, very rare couples as well, especially in rigged markets. Like,
There's always imbalances within
it's
the
always
relationship.
imbalanced, and she's always given
Always.
marginal treatment within this relationship. And that's why I call them MPJs.
Yeah, exactly.
They are non-primal jester. And I know this is true.
MPJ,
Sorry?
it's either MPJ or the woman has like severe personality flaws, and she's like, taking these personality flaws out on her guy.
Yeah, that's true. And she knows that the guy is going to be a doormat and put up with the BS and her terrible personality because he can't do any better. But it's just a non-primal jester, and it's a terrible relationship to be in. But, so many guys, blue pillars, are so dumb that they take every relationship at face value, and they see a ugly guy or marginal guy with a woman who's upper marginal, and then they blow it out of proportion. They're like, oh, look, see? That guy who's average got a hot woman. Explain that one. See? Looks don't matter. Looks don't matter. Looks don't matter. Looks don't matter. Like, this stupid crap. Like, have they not even thought for more than 1 second? And they've not had any exposure to these relationships. Because I've spoken to some of these couples. I've seen them firsthand. I've been in relationships with girls who have been in these MPJ relationships before, where she was upper marginal and the guy she went out before was marginal at best. She has told me to my face, I didn't have primal feelings for him. I was just in that relationship because it was easy, and he begged me for it. And I, just wanted some stability and some comfort for the time. But I always knew that this relationship had an expiry date. These are the words that the women have told me when they've been in these dating down situations. They've got all the power. They've got all the leverage. They what?
I've had similar situations as well.
Exactly.
Women I've been dating told me in the past that guys that they weren't really attracted to just because, of context, or the guy gestured so much. Like this one guy, he was gesturing for like 5 hours a day on the phone, calling, FaceTime, wasting time, giving emotional support.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
There's always whenever there's a massive imbalance of looks, usually there's just something wrong. Deeper. There's like hidden BPs.
Yeah, there's always hidden BPs. And I know this is true because I've had the exposure with them. Like, not all relationships are equal, and I'm not taking them all at face value. Like, if anything, based on this sampling, based on our sampling of these couples where we've seen these looks disparities, we've seen that when the woman is higher than the man, vast majority of the time it's non-primal jester, and the man has begged her for it. But, and this is why I think that the true balance of the dating market, it's somewhere around, in the rigged markets, it's 100% DOB, like 100% dating down.
Yes.
The the aggregate, the equilibrium, that's the word I was looking for. The equilibrium point where everything is equal, the relationship is equal, the man feels, the same comfort, the woman feels the same comfort, the primal is equal. I'd probably say you'd have to date down about 1 to 1.5 tiers. In England, I'd say 1 to 1.5 tiers. For it to be truly, truly equal.
Yeah, that's true. Or the B component.
Yeah, so like if there's an upper marginal guy, if there's an upper marginal guy in England who's with an upper marginal woman, that's not equal. That's not equal. Don't be naive. Don't be stupid. That's not an equal relationship, because the woman's got the power in that relationship. The guy is way more replaceable. The woman knows she's got more options. The woman is constantly getting hit on by guys, even when she's in that relationship, other dudes, trying to steal her away from the upper marginal guy. The upper marginal guy has got no other leverage, and he knows
Yeah,
that he's lucky to have her. And if he was single again, then he'd be just as screwed as the rest of the guys in society. And the next relationship he gets is gonna have to be dating down like the rest of the other dudes. So that's not an equal
yeah.
relationship. For it to truly be equal, that upper marginal guy has to be with a marginal woman.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what happened to me when I tried to go against DOB. I got a girl who was on sim because like we're both upper marginal, let's say. The girl I had was upper marginal, but she was giving me marginal treatment. So it was just unacceptable. It was just, I was just losing my dignity remaining in that relationship. So I had to, find another girl.
Exactly, I know, and I've seen this time and time again when I've been in these rigged markets. But honestly, you don't realize how much your attitude changes when you move from a rigged market to a non-rigged market.
Massive,
I know,
massive
like I've
difference.
seen it firsthand. Like
Look at the couple.
not even just my attitude, but the attitude of women changes drastically. Like when I'm in the rigged markets like England, if I approach a woman on my level, within not even 1 second, I can sense its marginal treatment because the energy she's given off is, but you're just the next guy on my looks level who's approaching me. So why would I want to give you time of day? There's even premium guys coming up to me. So what's the point of even speaking to you? You're just replaceable. That's the vibe that it gives off. That's the energy I'm getting from the women. But when I'm in a non-rigged market and I'm approaching girls on my level, that's way more rare for her. So she gives me the time of day. She thinks, "Oh crap, this is my one and only chance to get a guy on my level. He's, I might not get another guy on my level approaching for months. So I better take this opportunity
Equal.
while it lasts."
Exactly. And even in the relationship, the dynamic is going to be more equal. Like you're not going to feel like she has way more leverage compared to you disproportionately to the extent where you're like, I'm basically like so easily replaced.
100%. And I've even experienced this
It's very
firsthand.
important.
Like, remember when I was with the Ukrainian girl, and I told you that within the relationship, she was giving me marginal treatment.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I told her, like, because she was giving me this marginal treatment, even in the relationship, and I told her, look, the only reason that you're being like this is because you know that you've got more options out there, and this place, I'm not gonna be able to find another girl like you in this country because it's rigged in your favor and your competition is
Yeah.
shocking. Like, these weren't my exact words, but this is what I was getting across, like, in my point. And I said to her, you know full well that if we was in Ukraine, you wouldn't be giving me this marginal treatment.
Very true.
This would be
Absolutely
an
true.
equal relationship. But the only reason you're giving me this marginal treatment is because you know that this place is rigged against me. Like, those weren't my exact words, but
Yeah,
that's,
and she was
paraphrasing
kind
what
of
I said.
using you as beta bucks, right?
Sorry?
She was kind of using you as beta bucks as
Yeah,
well because she
exactly. And
knows
this
she
is
has.
this is the truth. That when woman's got leverage in the relationship because of this imbalance, then it means she can then use that leverage to exploit you. She can give you
Yeah.
marginal treatment. She can try and use beta bucks against you. She can like just never want to meet up because she knows like there's no point. The guy is still going to be giving premium treatment to me. It doesn't matter how marginal treatment that I give him.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And all of this, and she can still have primal for you as well. Like that's the thing that lots of people don't understand. Just because a girl is giving you primal doesn't mean she's not going to use you. Doesn't mean she's not going to leverage her abundance.
Yeah, bro, that's so true. And most guys are so dumb. In fact, I used to be so dumb as well, because I thought that if I go on a date with a woman, then that's serious and it's gonna be perfect, and like this girl is gonna be my girlfriend. Like I used to think in this mentality that she's just gonna give me premium treatment from day one. Even if I'm in a rigged market, but I didn't even know my market was rigged when I was in a terrible, terrible country that's England. But I thought that like a date actually meant something. And if you go on a date with a woman, or even if you like kiss a woman at a nightclub, which is 10 a
It
penny,
means absolutely.
yeah,
Even if you have action with her, still means nothing.
it still means nothing
All it means
because
is that she finds you very attractive, or at least attractive enough to get her going. But it doesn't mean that she's going to give you premium treatment. Not even
Exactly.
close.
Yeah, I'll actually say that the rule in my life, it's been the rule that if a woman has action with you, her energy afterwards will still be marginal treatment.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why primal is not equal dating market value. It's not the same.
Yeah,
And
primal
all
isn't
these
equal to
B
premium
pillars,
treatment.
yeah, all these B pillars are like copers and like, biological, blah blah blah. No, no, no. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's all about perceived market value. There's a difference between
100%.
perceived market value socially and primal. It's not the same.
I know, like, people are so dumb. They don't realize how rare premium treatment is.
They
Even if you're
don't.
dating
Yeah.
down. Like, okay, I'll be realistic, I'll be honest. The easiest way to get premium treatment is to comply with the market's
DOB.
to comply with the market's equilibrium, the balancing. So if you're in a place like England, the quickest way to get premium treatment, let's say that you're upper marginal, then do what the market is screaming in with a microphone in your ear for you to do, and that's go for the submarginal or marginal woman. Because let's be honest, the market is so rigged in these rigged countries, rigged places like England and coastal America. If you're upper marginal on Tinder, then the only women that are going to be giving you premium treatment are 1 to 2 tiers below your level, like submarginal or
Yeah.
marginal looks level.
I tried doing
That,
that. I tried doing that, and it just didn't work. Like, I was giving the girl marginal because I was used to better, and I couldn't,
oh,
force
bro,
myself to give her.
bro, that's so funny. That's actually so true as well. Like, I know for a fact that if I went back to these rigged markets, these like England or something, then my mentality max would fall off so quick. Like, I'd maybe download a dating app for a day, be extremely disappointed in terms of the options who are giving me premium treatment, that I would think, what the hell is this? I've been used to 5-star restaurants. Why am I now being forced to eat McDonald's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so then I
Exactly.
would just drop off. I would just think that I'm not even gonna participate in this. I'm gonna wait until I'm in the premium market, not this rigged as hell place.
No, you would participate in it, but you wouldn't give the woman proper treatment, and so it's not gonna stick. It's gonna be you're not gonna clear market because you're not satisfied with what you're able to get. That's what's gonna happen.
Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't clear the market. I would because I know that I've been used to better. Then I would just give marginal treatment if I was participating in dating there. Even though like now I've moved into this rigged market, the equilibrium has shifted. And I might end up getting like my equilibrium. And this is how you know it's true, because for the guys who are in these rigged markets and they don't know that there's better markets out there and it's rigged against them at the moment, then they end up complying with the equilibrium and they give premium treatment to even women who are 1 to 2 tiers beneath their level.
Yeah, but
I know.
there's two reasons for why someone would be single slash not clear market. Either they can't get anything, or they're low MM, or the thing that they can get, they're not satisfied with. That's why you have all these single women and single men. It's because none of them want a clear market.
No, let's not overcomplicate it. The only reason that people aren't clearing the market is because they're not complying with the equilibrium.
Yeah, they're not complying with the equilibrium. They're not complying with DOB,
Yeah, exactly.
whether it be on the female side or the male side. The woman
Exactly.
doesn't
And
want the guy. She's not. Some women aren't even satisfied with the 2 tiers above. Like, so they're not gonna go for the equilibrium.
they are, or
Do
they
you know
can
what I mean?
just kick the can down the road because there's
Yeah.
no urgency nowadays. Like, think about it this way: you might, in theory, want to buy a new phone. That doesn't mean you're going to buy that new phone today, because you know that you can pick it up in 6 months from now or 1 year from now.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you're not obliged. There's no strong pressure for you to get this thing today, even though like you would happily buy it today if you wanted to, but there's no urgency because you know that it's still going to be available in 6 months. And like when it comes to the non-compliance with the equilibrium, I had a really good point, but I forgot what I was going to say about it now.
What was I gonna say?
It was something to do with the equilibrium. Yeah. This is what I was going to say. So, people forget that the dating market is extremely similar to the market for economics. Like, so when it comes
Yeah.
to buying products, um, everything has to comply with the equilibrium. And if you don't, then the market doesn't clear. Because let's say that you've got £100 in your wallet, you might want to buy a brand new iPhone. But if the iPhones available are £1,000, then that market's never going to clear because you're not complying with the equilibrium. The equilibrium is £1,000, and it's going to stay that. In fact, it might even increase if the demand for these phones increases and the supply is low. So the equilibrium is at that £1,000 mark, and
Yeah,
the
it's not gonna
customers
solve.
either need to comply with that or get stuffed. Okay, and maybe you might be able to exposure max, find a better deal by going on some dodgy websites, secondhand sellers, all of this stuff, to maybe shave off like a bit of money. But with £100 budget, there's no way you're going to be able to clear the market and like actually get what you want, because the equilibrium is very strong, and there's very little room for negotiation compared to the equilibrium. Like, at most it's going to be plus or minus 10%, compared to the equilibrium, the deal you're going to be able to get by exposure maxing. But when it comes to
Yeah.
England, and this is what really annoys me, because it seems that YBC hasn't realized this. I like a lot of his points that he says, but there's some things that he's just wrong on. And I know he's wrong on this because
For example,
the thing that he's wrong on is that he thinks that shooting more volume, as he calls it, which is the same as exposure maxing, is a way to overcome the rigged market. I used to believe this as
no.
well until I proved to myself with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of exposures in a rigged market that no, it's not possible. You can't dodge the equilibrium. You can't cut corners. You can't cheat the market. Like, if you're an upper marginal guy and the market is screaming with a microphone in your ear saying you got to go for the sub-marginal or marginal, that's your equilibrium. There's no amount of exposure maxing that's going to overcome that, and you find the woman on your looks level who gives you premium treatment. That doesn't happen. I know that's true for my extremely high sample size. But YBC
More
thinks that you can overcome this rigged market just by shooting more volume. It doesn't work like that. It's a matter of comply with the rigged market, comply with the equilibrium, or the market will punish you. And how does the market punish you? Well, one of two ways. Either you just get rejected, which is what happens the vast majority of the time. So if you're an upper marginal guy, you think, wow, the upper marginal women are on my looks level, so I should go for them. Well, no, because the market's rigged. It's not at the equilibrium. So vast majority of the time, they're just going to reject you. And, you're at square one again. Okay, but what happens in a situation where you do get lucky and the upper marginal woman does go out with you? You think like, yay, I've cheated the market. This exposure maxing worked. No, it hasn't worked. Because all that's going to happen is that you're just going to get marginal treatment in that relationship.
Or she's gonna, have micro MM with you.
Yeah, or have
Short-term
micro MM. Like, you're just going to get used. You're just going to get pied off after she gets what she wants because she knows she can do better. Like, people forget that women aren't stupid. Women aren't dumb. They know the attractiveness of the guys that have hit on them before. They know where their market value is. They know what guys they can get. So if you are so naive to think, oh, this woman is on my level, so she's going to have to accept me. No, it doesn't work like that because she's already got better. She can already get better.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people cope and say that it's easier for men to get relationships compared to one-offs or short-term. This is complete cap. It's not even true. Based
Yeah.
on my experience, we've had short-term encounters with women who are above our looks level multiple times. Well, I mean, maybe not multiple times for me, but for me at least once, and for you probably multiple times. And did it ever lead to anything in these rigged markets? Absolutely not.
No, it never led to anything more. Like, and the only reason, most of the times that I got this woman above my looks level was because of two things. It was micro MM. So the woman, she has primal for me, like, because she thinks I'm attractive. And the second thing is that the micro market was rigged against her.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly. The
yeah, so
micro markets. Maybe the night had like good ratios or whatnot.
yeah, exactly. So what me and my friend we came up with this idea. So there's two types of markets. There's micro markets and then there's macro markets. And the micro
Yeah.
market means like the night on the club. Um wait, someone's spamming the chat like crazy, so I'm gonna just like block this guy or whatever.
Road to 1% is in the chat. Maybe ask Road to 1% if he thinks getting a short-term relationship as a guy or a long-term relationship as a guy is easier.
Okay.
Which do you think is easier?
Yeah, yeah.
1%.
He'll type out that comment if he heard that question.
Yeah.
But I just want to explain to people what the difference between micro market and macro market
Yeah.
is. So macro market is like the whole city or country that you're in. The overall, ease of how dating is, how rigged or not rigged it is in your favor, and that's usually measured up because of the how interested the women are in guys in general, if they're looking for marriage or not, or if they're just looking to stay single, looking at having fun for other aspects of life, traveling, stuff like this. That's the main factor of the macro market, and other factors as well is how attractive the women are, because some cultures have a higher preference of women investing in their beauty and staying healthy, being more attractive. So those are like the macro market factors. But then micro markets is how it is on this specific day at this specific time in this specific venue.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Exactly.
if you're, most of the time, like I would say 9 times out of 10, you go to a club. The second you walk in the door, you can already see how rigged it is against you, because they are you get in, the ratio's cooked. There's like 3 times as many guys than there are women. That's how it is 9 times out of 10. However, on 1 out of 10 nights, for some reason, just you get incredibly lucky, and there's more women than guys actually, and there's plenty of opportunities, and none of the guys are spraying and praying, and you can do a lot of approaches, and because of that, like some of the women get frustrated in that moment. They're like, I'm used to getting approached by plenty of guys all night. No guys are coming up to me. The only guys that are coming up to me are submarginal and junk. So when's a decent looking guy going to come up to me? So she's having this building frustration, and then let's say that you're an above average guy approaches her, then now because this micro market is rigged against you, she gives you higher choosing signals. She gives you the enthusiasm. So then from when you're in this situation, you're able to get with a woman who's above your looks level very, very occasionally. However, she the next day she wakes up, this micro market has finished, and now it's the macro market, the rules, the equilibrium for the macro market is at play again. And then she thinks, oh crap, that was only my looks match, so I don't need to go for this guy. I know I can do better. The equilibrium isn't being met here. I can get the guy who's a point or 2 points higher, a full tier higher than me. So I'm going to reject this guy, and I'm going to wait for the guy who's actually at my equilibrium level.
Yeah, listen to this. So Road to 1% says, in my opinion, they're basically the same thing. LTR to me is something that evolves from a STR, short-term relationship. If your relationship starts without physical attraction, it's doomed from the start. But that's the thing. If an LTR evolves from an STR, that means an STR, by definition, is easier to get, because LTR is rarer.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it never... Look, no relationship ever goes like this. That it starts off as marginal treatment and marginal primal, and then it becomes premium primal and premium treatment once you get to know each other more and learn about people's personality and you build this love over time. No. That's never happened in the history of forever. It's never happened to me. Okay, maybe some other guys are going to cope and say that it's happened to them, but it's when I've seen that these relationships evolve, it's always non-primal. Whenever it started off as non-primal, then even if the guy begs the woman for the relationship later, then it just ends up as non-primal later anyway. So nothing's changed in this situation. However, what have experienced a lot of the time is that you have this short term, whether it's once or 2 times or 5 times. So you've got this primal to begin with, and then they end up falling off. They end up always falling off.
Yeah.
It changes to marginal treatment later on because she knows she can do better. Like this is the fact of dating. This is just a. I'm gonna make this a rule because the exceptions are so unbelievably rare. It's no point even calling there to be exceptions. Let's just call it a rule that premium treatment can change into marginal treatment, but marginal treatment can never change into premium treatment.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
It is. I've never once in my life had marginal treatment change into premium.
Me neither.
Not even once.
Me neither.
It never happens. Like, people are more than... In fact, let me do one of those polls in the comments. See if people... how do I do this poll? Oh, yeah. Let's see. All right. Have
Road to 1% says
you
that after
ever
he gym
had
his
marginal treatment
higher
from a woman change into premium?
If you get more short-term relationships, you're going to get more long-term relationships. The two go hand in hand since long-term evolves from short-term. It's obvious. What poll are you doing?
I did... have you ever had marginal treatment from a woman change into premium treatment after getting to know her more?
So for me, the answer is no.
Yes, no, or I've never had premium treatment.
For me, the answer is no. Let's see what people say.
Yeah, for me, the answer is no.
Some people are saying yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's roughly
But
1 in 5 or 1
wasn't...
in 4 is saying yes. Which is very, very surprising. Because for me, it's never happened. And me and you have both had giga exposure.
Yeah, but I think it's... Okay. The reason why some people think that this happened is because they did an aggression max. They just gestured, and then it just happened to be premium from the beginning, and they didn't know because they didn't ask the questions. Are you into me? Do you find me attractive? Do you want to go back to my place? They didn't ask these questions, so that's why they think it wasn't premium in the beginning, but it probably was.
There's that, but I would also estimate that a lot of guys are, they are being naive and deluded for what actual premium treatment is.
All right.
So, like,
let's define what premium.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to highlight is that, say for the girl I was with in a relationship, and she told me about how she never had, primal for her ex-boyfriend that she was in the relationship with, then that guy, that she was with at that time, he would probably answer yes to this poll. He would think like, oh yeah, so she was giving me marginal treatment at the start, but I asked her out 6 times. She eventually said yes, she gave me a chance. And then we started this relationship and it was so great. I always took her out on dates and, we texted all the time. We'd call each other, even though they never did anything primal for each other. Like, this clown probably thinks that this is premium treatment. You know what I'm saying? He's deluding himself, even though it's clearly marginal treatment.
Premium is when a girl is so into you that she initiates action sometimes. She's literally like very, very into you. Not only that, but she also respects you and the relationship feels like it's 50-50. Like she's not controlling you. It needs to go both ways. She needs to have primal for you and she needs to respect you. That's what real premium treatment is.
It is.
And by respect,
yeah, I agree.
Whenever you want to meet her, she wants to meet you. She responds quickly. She's basically treating you the best possible. That's what premium is.
It is, yeah. It's like they say.
All aspects. All aspects.
They
if it's not premium on aspects, then it's not premium.
Yeah. It's like they say, they make rules for betas and they break rules for chats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if a woman's making all of these rules for you, then that's not premium treatment, that's marginal treatment.
Not premium treatment. If she has primal for you, that's not premium. That's still marginal.
Exactly. I would even say most of the time when the woman breaks up with the guy, that's because it was marginal treatment. She's got better options now.
That or PW, like you've exposed. But even then, like it's rare. Like most of the time, it's because she was giving you marginal treatment.
Yeah, I think so. Like, to me, premium treatment is when the woman is putting in consistent effort. There's no games, there's no BS, and she has very high primal for you. So, like, she, when it comes to like physical aspects of the relationship, You're never having to beg. You're never having to persuade. You're never having to, like, there's no like significant barriers to entry. Like, sometimes you hear about these couples where like they're only doing it 3 times per year, once on Valentine's Day, once on the anniversary, and maybe once because he took her on a like 2-day holiday to Paris or something like this. This is marginal treatment.
Yeah. Let's talk about the optimal night game strategy. For me, it would be you go inside the nightclub, you have a look around real quick, you try to scan the girls who are similar pheno to you, like within your pheno range, and then you approach those first, and you try to approach them quickly so that the other girls don't see you while you're approaching them, and so you don't PW the venue. And if that doesn't work, you approach the girls who are less EV. So you start with the high EV, and then you go lower until you have no more EV. Do you agree with my strategy?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. For me, it's just the lowest hanging fruit first, and you get that by just walk maxing the venue. But honestly, I would say night game, the strategy, that starts even the week before going to this club, or just having a good understand of like what the market is like. Because in most towns, there's going to be at least more than one club. Then there's going to be more than several nights that you can go on to the different venues, and half of those are going to be rigged. Half of those are going to be rigged nights. But where the higher expected value clubs are. You know which the night the ratios are better, where the mentality max is better of the women, the chances you have is higher, the walk max is better, that it's not loud and obnoxious, less guys are spraying and praying. Like all of these other variables, you should have a good idea of these variables to know where you've got a higher chance.
Yeah, you need to have optimal venue selection. Like what I said is assuming you already have selected the optimal venue.
Yeah, so if you have an optimal venue selection, and then once you show up, I would say it mainly becomes about, observing where the highest expected value approaches are first, like the lowest hanging fruit. And that's going to be the women who, are not DGs, who are within your pheno range. And I would say the numbers of the goals matters as well, because I've usually found when it's like 2 goals, the chance that they'll give F tier is a lot higher, because the maths needs to make sense. Like, you approach when there's 2 goals and you're on your own, then the extra woman, she's always going to PW you. She's going to make up any excuse to get rid of you.
You approach groups of 3 or more.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
If you have a partner.
Yeah. Or say if there's 2 guys, then approach girls of either 2 or 4, because you can't approach a group of 3. Because then one of them's going to get left out. Like, or sometimes, to be honest, if you approach a group of 3, then as 2 guys, then one of the girls will like one of the guys, the other guy will get rejected, and then that guy can then get that girl.
Yes, this is true. Or like one of the duo is going to gesture until the friend does whatever he has to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes gesturing stuff like this as well.
Most of the people don't even know what we're talking about in this chat, because they're mostly basement dwellers, and
exactly.
they have no clue what we're talking about.
Some guys have zero exposure, like, and it shows.
Yeah.
It's so obvious when you okay, I would say one of the biggest questions to know if a guy is a true basement dweller or if he's had exposure is this exact one question, which is that after short-term fun times, that who is more likely to want to start something and carry on seeing the other person.
Yeah, if the person hasn't actually had like women, he's going to answer wrong. He's going to say the man's going to fall off. If he has the experience, he's going to say the woman's more likely to fall off.
Exactly, yeah. So a simpler way of explaining the question is, after, let's say on a first date, man and woman, like spend the whole night together on this first date, who is more likely to try to pursue this into a relationship, and who is more likely to fall off?
Follow.
Yeah, exactly. And most basement dweller idiots would say that the man will fall off, that he just used the woman and it was just a hookup, and the woman is begging the guy to have this relationship. Like, if any idiots think that this is true, like, because this is what the
Average
yeah,
B pillar thinks.
yeah, exactly. Or they hear from like RP dudes saying like, oh, he got the milk for free and all of this crap. You didn't get the whole cow. All of this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that they, try to use logic on these phrases and what bald podcasters have told them on the internet. They use logic, but it's misapplied, and they come to these conclusions. However, like logic is never as important as the truth of what actually happens in the real world. It was the same as what I explained in this video I think a couple years ago, that you might have this idea in your mind that makes logical sense. Say if you're a salesman and you're trying to think of good advertising, you would think like, oh, we should use green advertising because green means go, it's going to want people to buy this product. However, they've studied this doing A/B tests for advertising campaigns, and it's shown that red is well better at converting sales. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like even though the logic would say that red is a terrible color to use because red means stop, red is danger, things like this. The logic is less important than the truth. And when it comes to the truth, it is a fact that if you have a short-term situation with the woman, or if you're in this short-term relationship, whatever, the woman's way more likely to end it and fall off compared to the guy. Like, the market is so rigged nowadays that the men are begging women to be in relationships, not the other way around. Because it's hard to get a relationship as a man, but women know that they can get a relationship with a guy very, very easily. So, how can it make sense that women are the ones begging guys to settle down and be in his relationships when, realistically, it's business as usual, women rejecting guys just like it's always been?
Yes, women have leverage throughout the whole dating process. The start, the finish, the maintaining of it, everything is in the woman's control.
100%
in these
agree.
rigged markets.
Yeah, like it might change, in terms of how rigged or less rigged it is in the woman's favor over time. Like, but at all times, the woman's got the power. So what I'm saying is that, like when you're matching on the dating apps, there's like 95% power to the woman. 95%. You've got 5% leverage. She's got 95%. And then, people will say like, but after you've been with the woman and you've spent the first night together with each other, the power has shifted to you. This is what these idiots will say. But it's not. Like, all that's happened is that it's gone from her 95% leverage to your 70 to her 75% leverage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there has been a shift, but she's still got the leverage. She's still got 75% power. You've got 25%. She's way more likely to fall off. You're probably not going to see her again. You're going to feel like crap the next day because she's ghosted you.
Yeah. This guy says we're talking about the same thing for 2 hours. But like, what do you want us to talk about? We're literally talking about dating dynamics here.
Yeah, I know. Okay, should we do the thing that we said about that? We'll go on, look through the videos that I've uploaded recently and see what some clowns are saying.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, what one should we go through first? The clavicular one, maybe, or the face like you're Oscar Patel. Okay, we'll do the clavicular one first. All right, because there's always plenty of brain dead people in the comments who have just had zero exposure. Sorry?
Yeah, I said so many are brain dead. It's insane.
I know. Yeah, but it's so funny when you can see all of these other basement dwellers liking their comments as well, because they, have watched. Like, you got to remember that commenters on YouTube is going to have a selection bias for basement dwellers. It's going to have a selection bias that there's less exposure maxed people and more basement dwellers, because basement dwellers live in the comment section, so they're more likely to leave these comments, and additionally the people reading comments are more likely to be basement dwellers too. So even though basement dweller comments can be incorrect, because they've got their own selection bias of other basement dwellers liking the comments, then it makes them look right. But the truth seekers, the truthers who have got the exposure, they're not in these comment sections anywhere near as much, and 95% of guys have terrible exposure. So, they aren't going to be in that 5% who's got good exposure and know what the real truth is. Even though they will leave a comment occasionally, and theirs is going to be true, and the basement dwellers is going to be wrong, but the ratio won't show that.
Yeah. Also, yeah. It's like you said. Outcome data trumps mechanistic data. But anyways, let's go through the comments, right?
Okay, right. It's actually insane just how mainstream Clav has become this week. I'm not sure if it's for the better. See, Clav has become mainstream, but you got to bear in mind, and I know this is true because I watched that Greg Doucette video on it. He addressed the situation. Most of his audience are minors. Most of his audience,
Yes.
including his paid audience especially, which I actually think is quite predatory because, these are vulnerable people. They aren't even over 18. In his school community, paying like $50 a month, whatever, they are easily misled, easily manipulated. Most of his audience who are paying this money for him, giving him an income, are minors.
Yeah, and like all the Looksmaxxing techniques that he's saying are either extremely dangerous or they're not going to move the needle that much. Like bone smashing, seriously, come on, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I know, it's just crazy.
AD isn't going to increase your attractiveness. It's just going to make you more jacked.
And honestly, this is a really big hot take that I know that people are going to say cope in the comments, but this just proves my point about basement dweller idiots having no real knowledge of the real world. That I don't think that Clavicular has increased his level of primal actually that much in the last 6 months. I think that if he went out to a nightclub, okay, putting the clout aside, because I know people are going to be like, oh, but he's getting more choosing signals now. Okay, but that's because he's more recognizable. He's got this clout. But let's say that he's just a no clout individual. You put him in a nightclub, what he looks like now and what he looked like 6 months ago. I don't think that the expected value will be all that different. It's going to be, he's going to get a very similar level of results from when he's exposure maxing, when he's approaching in this club. And that's because what I've noticed is that these basement dweller Looksmaxxers, they are more drawn to DGification. And I think this is what Clav has done. Like, you look at this photo that I've used for the thumbnail of him. He just looks more DGified. Like, if there was a man's equivalent of DGs, this is what it would look like.
Yeah, I think he's just leaner and more tan, but it's questionable whether that's going to increase his actual primal or not. I think it wouldn't, honestly.
I don't think it would.
I don't think.
But bro, think about it this way:
body fat to 8% body fat is going to increase your primal to women.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would. Like, I think that
bone strength. That's what it's about.
It is. It's about genetics. Like, and also, you said he's more tanned and leaner. That's basically when women DGify themselves, that's what they do exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, but I don't have much more primal for those tan DGs compared to UGs who have like rounder faces, and have a lighter skin. Like, my primal for them is very, very similar.
Yeah, the truth is, Clavicular, before Looksmaxxing, blah, 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 all this mumbo jumbo, he would have still been very attractive to women.
I agree, yeah, but it's just because these basement dweller Looksmaxxers, the closer you look to PSL, then the more attractive they think you are. So he's basically PSL-ified himself. And because of that, you got these basement dweller Looksmaxxers that think like, oh, he looks more similar to PSL now, so he must get more choosing signals. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, the level of primal that he would have now compared to 6 months ago, from women's perspective, I don't think it would change that much. And I know this is true because I've looked at the guys do well in clubs, and the ones who try to do this more PSL stuff, it doesn't make a meaningful difference.
It doesn't. It's marginal, imperceptible.
All it does is increase the perception of the people in the PSL community to think how attractive you are.
Yeah.
I know.
That's true.
Which is ironic because these PSL idiots love to talk about female gaze and stuff. But if female gaze is so relevant, then where are all the females? Like, in their comment section and stuff like this? Because it's just a bunch of dudes for the most part.
That's so accurate.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Yeah, like I got a video on my Patreon about this. It was like some rugby player Chad, and I'm not even joking. Within 1 second of seeing this video, this rugby player Chad, I knew that the comment section would be filled with women. It'd be filled with hot women. because this guy was just a naturally born premium Chad. And you can tell he wouldn't have even have heard of the terms Looksmaxxing or Squintmaxxing or PSL, any of this crap. And I was proved right that the comment section was just loads of women giving him Giga S tier, Giga premium treatment. But meanwhile, you got these other TikTok Looksmaxxer basement dwellers who are uploading videos how to squint max properly, how to get hollow cheeks, how to PSL. Not even one female will be in this comment section.
Not even one. These guys are just basement dwellers. They should increase their exposure, but they won't because they're delusional anyway. So
it's because they're basement dweller. Once a basement dweller, always a basement dweller.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Pretty
certain Clavicular used to watch Wheat Waffles. This is true. Most of these Looksmax creators you've watched, a lot of them used to watch me. A few of them have even sent their face ratings to me as well. Because I've seen their pictures came up years ago. So a lot of them have watched my videos first. The Clav voice interpretation was premium. Yeah, I don't like Clav's voice. What do you think?
I think it's marginal, like you said. It sounds like a bit like this, like.
Yeah, it's too nasally. Yeah, he's got a marginal voice. Yeah, this is a really good point. How do you think this will play out? Because he is 19 years old. However, he does look older because he's taken all of this TRT stuff and DGified himself. Do you think that will come to bite him? Like, is he going to hit the age pill quicker in 5 years' time or so?
Yeah, I think definitely it's possible that it's going to slightly make him age faster because of the PED usage that he's been doing, for sure.
Yeah.
PED's age your... Yeah.
I know. Like, I made a comment on the YBC post like today, saying that I think Clav, he's going to be one of these, the brightest stars, burn the quickest, die the fastest types. Because if you notice that a lot of these people who are giga celebs, like, have overnight fame, overnight blowing up, these are the first to get either ended, as in just today they're alive, tomorrow they aren't. Look at like all of the Love Island stars. Like, the suicide rate on that show is very, very high, which is very unfortunate. But some of them end up dying from other reasons. Like, who was that guy in Harry Styles who... No, from One Direction, who, like, he was taking drugs and then fell off a balcony. Like, a lot of them end up like that. They die from accidents, like taking drugs, all of this crap. Or other people will get jealous and then they, murder these people, similar to Charlie Kirk. Or, like, all I'm saying is that if I was Clav, I wouldn't be walking around in the street like he is. Like, I think that it's actually a ticking time bomb until something very serious happens to him. Like, I've seen a few videos of him on TikTok where there's been minor altercations. People tried to start fights with him, like getting all up in his face. I think it could be a matter of time until, like, there's a broken bottle that's in his neck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a risk to his his well-being. The fact that he's on YouTube and he has all this fame. I agree with you.
It is, because there's a lot of crazy people out there, and all it takes is one crazy person. And the more exposure you have, the more you're going to have.
The more likely.
Yeah, the more likely you're going to run into these crazy people. And all it takes is one person who's really drunk, is drinking a bottle of beer, breaks it in half, boom, stabs you. Like, your life is over.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. So, like, if I was him, I'd have security at the very least, but I probably wouldn't even want to be going out to these, really busy venues either.
Yeah, that's true. Clavicular is definitely putting his life in danger. Sure.
It is. Okay. So now it's not Chad, nor me, and Sub 5 anymore, but Premium, Marginal, and Junk. I think this is the best way to describe it, because Premium, Marginal, Junk, it translates for everything, not just in terms of looks. Okay, first things first, the Chad, Normie, Sub 5 thing, that just sounds too cartoonish, too gimmicky. No one takes this community seriously because you're using these stupid terms. Like, imagine, telling people in real life, oh, that guy's a normie. People just give you weird looks and they think it's stupid. So, like, there's that. And, saying these terms, like, it translates with all of the other things in life. So if you're premium looks, you're probably going to get premium treatment. If you're marginal looks, you're going to get marginal treatment. If you're junk looks, you're going to get junk treatment. You know what I'm saying? It translates for everything.
Yeah. Well, you could replace the word marginal with average. That
Yeah,
would
but
make
marginal sounds better,
yeah.
doesn't it? Because, okay, I think average is a cop out. Like, I think average has a positive connotation. Like, you will hear guys say, "Oh, I'm average looking," you know, even if he's sub marginal. But they'll try and round up and say, like, "Oh, I'm average looking," you know, which makes it seem that it's elements of there's nothing wrong with you, you're completely fine. You know, average is the middle person. So, you know, this is normal, this is okay, this is great. That's the kind of connotation that it gives. But, you know, in dating, from women's perspective, average is terrible. Average is, you know, oh, you're not good enough. No, we want the best. Premium or nothing, Chad or nothing. And that's why I
yeah.
said marginal, because marginal highlights that, you know, you're barely acceptable. This is, you know, if I'm going out with you, this is a choice. Like, you're not the best that I would want, but if I'm going to go out with you, then this is, you know, who I'm making a diligent choice to go out with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you need. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to have good options in a dating market, you need to be, I'd say, in the top 30%. That's where. If you're in a non-rigged market, I think that's where you could start getting good options.
Exactly. And this is the difference, because I think, look, the word average insinuates is good enough, but the word marginal insinuates not good enough, or like barely acceptable. And when it comes to average, like real average guys, like middle 50%ers in the dating market, from women's opinion of the perception of them, then they are absolutely barely acceptable, not good enough. Like they
Really,
want better than this, you know. So, you know, saying like average guy is somehow good enough, no, it's not. Like, you know, when in the last 10 years have average guys ever got premium treatment? You know, and been seen as good enough from women? Like, when have they got premium matches on dating apps, premium women approaching them in premium number of times? Like, when have they got this premium treatment in the dating market? They've just not. The only guys getting premium treatment are premium guys.
yeah, that's true.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, all of these new terms, like, you know, okay, DGs, UGs, HMs, all of this stuff. Some of them is just because it gets effort saying like hyper masculine over and over again, and pretty boy,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's just easier to shorten these. But DGs and UGs, like, guys, you gotta have some common sense here. We're hardly on the safest platform that's been created. Like, the amount of people that have been deplatformed over the years. This isn't Elon Musk's Twitter, you know, X, where you can say and do anything you like. Like, this is a very, you know, hot platform where you kind of got to play by the rules a little bit. So, use your imagination, guys. Use your imagination.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
But
Okay, what do you
like
think
we
of
can't
this?
stress you can't stress enough how important market is. Like it's just insane. Like some people here don't understand how important market is.
It's because
It's
they've not
looks, market,
experienced
exposure.
different markets. Like, you know,
Looks,
it's
market,
very.
exposure.
Look, there's been studies to show this, that people think that their truth is based off what they see and, you know,
Yeah,
the environment around them. So, like, you know, if you live in a place where people, even with things like that's kind of controversial, like eating meat, or you know, you hear in other cultures that they eat dogs, then you think like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, dogs are pets. Like, you know, but if you're
yeah,
born in one of these countries where they eat dogs, then you're gonna think, well, like, oh, that's normal. Like, that's just how it is. So, you know, people are. It's a very narrow-minded way of thinking, um, and this is what the brain has evolved to do. That you're supposed to adjust and, you know, believe what is true about your current situation, what you've had exposure to, what you've seen in your own life. That's true everywhere. That's universal. But it's just not the case. Like, and you only know that how much better it can be when you've been in non-rigged markets. So if you're trapped in a rigged market like coastal America or England. England is in a league of its own. That's just a shocking place. I would never go back to that country. It's terrible, terrible,
Yeah,
terrible. There's nothing good about that
yeah.
dating market
Western
there.
Europe more rigged than Eastern Europe for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Western Europe is rigged as well.
But you were reading a comment.
No, I'm not reading the comments. But like England is just awful. It's a textbook rigged market. So if you live in this country, you're gonna think like, oh, this is how it is everywhere. But it's not. Like you only know that's true when you leave this rigged market.
Yeah, and the only way to experience this is to actually leave and actually exposure max in these less rigged markets. You literally feel the difference instantly. Like I went to these non-rigged markets. I've lived there,
I
and the
know
difference is literally. It's like you feel like you're one tier above what you actually are. Like let's say
exactly.
in Western Europe, I'm upper marginal. I know I'm upper marginal. I don't care what you guys say. I know I'm upper marginal. If I'm upper marginal in Western Europe, sorry, if I'm, yeah, I'll feel like I'm marginal or maybe even sub-marginal. But if I'm in Eastern Europe, I feel like I'm actually upper marginal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
100%. 100%. And you know that these people have had no real experience, no real exposure. Because even putting aside the dating thing, just in terms of culture, um, like when people have not been to these countries or been to different places, they don't even know what it's like. Like there'll be people in England that think if they went to Hungary, no one will speak English there. It's like, oh, you won't even speak Hungarian though.
Yeah, no,
You know
that's
what I
cap.
mean? Such idiots. They would think like, oh, if you go to yeah, if you go to Hungary, no one's gonna speak English. Like these people so dumb. You know that they've not been to these places when they make these kind of comments. Like, we
Yeah,
went to Hungary. Pretty much everyone speaks English there. Pretty much everyone.
yeah, we did. We probably geomaxed more than 99% of the people in the of the audience.
Exactly. Um,
We know.
right. What do you think about this comment about Clav? So it says that I thought that only DGs would be attracted to him. Um, and he says that looks are law, and he's not really that socially awkward anyway. He basically thinks that UGs would like Clav. Now, do you think this is realistic, bro? Come on.
I
Bolos,
think
they all
the
think.
issue, like they're gonna be primarily attracted to him. This is true. They're gonna feel feelings of physical attraction towards Clav because he's handsome, he's good looking. But um, the way UGs work is that UGs need the guy they're dating to have high social acceptance. Like you said, he can't be this saying controversial stuff online. Like it's not gonna pass for them. So they're
100%.
gonna reject.
Yeah, I completely
Yeah,
agree with your analysis that they would have primal for him. Um, but there's no way they would go out with this dude based on his online presence and
yeah. If they
going
saw
on
just one
going
video,
on Bald Bros podcasts making a bunch of slanderous remarks. It's just never
yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah, as the word starting with M. And then no one's gonna. These girls will just block him. They wouldn't want to go out with him because of that.
Wait, say elaborate a bit more. What are you talking about?
If a girl saw one of his videos, which is very likely based on the fact that he's blowing up, she's just gonna label him as like a UG, not a DG. DGs don't care about that sort of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They're gonna
yeah,
label
yeah,
him as the word beginning with M.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Not gonna
additionally,
want.
when your exposure gets big enough, like I would say, once you reach 1 million subs or more on any platform, then in terms of being recognized day to day, it's overnight, like instant. Because if you have 1 million subs, like people still think like, oh, that person's a nobody. Um, you know, they're not that famous. Like, if you walk down the street and you got 1 million subs, okay, maybe a couple people will know who you are, but it's not like you're Mr. Beast here, where everyone's coming up to you. Which is true, but this is the main difference that when you've got 1 million subs, and you go on a date with a girl, yeah, you might be able to go on one date with her, maybe even a couple dates, but soon 10 of her friends are going to know about you. And I absolutely promise, one will know who you are.
Yeah,
One will
and
know.
also there's
All it
yeah,
takes
yeah.
is one. All it takes is one to know who you are.
Yeah, yeah,
And when one knows who you are, then everyone knows who you are.
yeah. That's true. And like the way just Clavicular's channel is set up, the way he talks about women, the way he talks about looks being the most important thing. I promise you guys, if any UG heard that, she'd just think he's some superficial guy who's using her, and then she will dump him.
It is,
Trust me,
yeah.
This happened to both of us many times.
I
It's
know.
just facts.
It's Giga PW. Like his
It is.
online presence is extremely, extremely big PW. Like people forget that majority of the time there's good clout and then there's bad clout. For DGs, there is no bad clout. Like pretty much all clout is good clout.
They don't-
It doesn't matter who you are. Like DGs, they would think that having a RP YouTube channel is actually a good thing, or being a BP, uh, person like Clav, Looksmaxxing, that's a good thing because they just chase any clout. It doesn't matter how controversial it is. Same with the person who got voted the most famous person in the world 2 years ago, who's currently in jail. I'm pretty sure. See, all of the girls that he was getting were DGs. UGs would never go for him. But like for generally, if you want to get UGs, your clout has to be the good kind. Like you need to be a professional tennis player. Like you need to be
Cooking.
in the royal family. You need to have like be a famous musician or something like this.
You got to be a cooking YouTuber or some blue pill, something blue pill. It cannot be something BP or RP.
Yeah, it can't be BP or RP, and it can't be anything political either.
Yeah,
Especially if it's right wing politics.
exactly.
Yeah, like if you're making political opinions online and they're like of the right wing variety, then that's just Giga PW.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, I've even seen in my own life in England, if anyone says that they endorse Nigel Farage, then he's just immediately hated. Like, if someone says like, "Oh, I quite like Nigel Farage," he's a good character, then people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're just a misogynist," or they'll say all of these remarks. They'll
yeah.
they'll call you a racist. Actually, they'll call you a racist.
Yeah, if say you like the AT guy, the guy who has the initials starting with AT,
Yeah.
on a date, and she knows who he is, or she like Googles him after, like that's just over, bro. It's over. Even if she likes you, chances are she's gonna be like, this guy's cuckoo. Not gonna see him again. Block.
Exactly. Or if you say that you like the current president of the United States, instant
Yeah,
block, instant blocked.
yeah. Because here's the thing: you can't you can't get marginal to go to premium, but you can definitely make premium go to junk.
Yeah,
You can nuke a woman's choosing signal. Like, not in the sense that her primal biologically is going to decrease, not in that sense, but in the sense that she'll think you're a horrible person, then she wouldn't want to talk to you again. In that sense.
I agree. And it's usually because the PW just nukes it.
Yeah. Because women get the ick in terms of everything like way easier than men. It's actually funny because they have more leverage, so they get the ick more easy as well.
Yeah.
Any little fluff, it's like they're gone.
Yeah. Right. Let's look at a few more comments. Right. He says, "I think his physique looks better than the guy with a stocky waist." No, that's such a lie. Who do you think has a better physique in terms of like more primal from women in real life? Bartek or Clavicular?
It's hard to say, but Bartek's got more volume.
He's got way more volume, bro.
He's got more volume, but Clavicular has the face model.
No,
So maybe overall,
I'm not talking about face. I'm talking about who has a more primal body in terms of woman. Whose body
primal
is more
body.
premium?
Oh yeah, if we're isolating body alone, I think the volume is going to win.
Yeah,
the volume.
Of course.
As long as you're between, I'd say 10 and 15% body fat, which I think Bartek's probably 15%. I think volume is more important than body fat percentage. Do you agree?
100% agree. People underestimate volume so much. You hear all of these BP guys, basement dwellers. Like, honestly, I'm going to start calling it the basement dweller effect. The difference between what people think is premium on camera versus what is actually premium in real life. And there's dozens of disparities for this. Like such as the PSL-ness. Like PSL always looks better in camera, but it looks worse in real life because it looks more unnatural, right? And it's the same with body, because there's a disparity between what looks good on camera for body and what looks good in real life. And the main disparity is volume, because
What?
camera disguises and hides volume more. It's hard to see how much of a mogger a guy is in how much of a mogger he would be in real life when you can only see him on camera at the moment. And you know, because me and you, most of our exposure in terms of knowing which guys get the most premium treatment, get the most primal, has been in real life. Then we've seen firsthand like the guys, like what characteristics they have when they're getting premium treatment in clubs. When the guy is getting women saying like, oh, that guy's really attractive.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so if you're at a club with your jester friends, then you see the guys that she's pointing at and saying like, oh, that guy's premium, that guy's hot, right?
yes,
And there is a difference between what the guys will be that they say in real life compared to online. And I promise you that when it comes to these two men's physique, like obviously both of them are attractive, they're way above average physiques, but in terms of real life, this guy would get more premium treatment, more primal, Bartek would, compared to Clavicular.
yeah. If you isolate the physique though, but this dude who donated $2 is saying volume does not win. That's male gaze. That's not female gaze. I mean, there's nuance to it though. There's nuance to it. It's like proportions matter, but volume also matters. And we think that as an overall package, if you put Bartek next to Clavicular, just because of the sheer size that Bartek's going to have over Clavicular, even though Clavicular has slightly better proportions, we think that Bartek's going to have more prime. Do you agree?
In real life. And additionally,
Yeah.
right, okay, let me make one point clear. Like, because when we say volume, some of the audience might think slightly more volume. If he had the same amount of volume as Bartek, I think that would be optimal for Clavicular.
Yeah. But like, don't get me wrong. He is still like giga premium. It's just we're just nitpicking here. Like,
Yeah.
basically.
No, but the main disparity is when you've got people that are very, very deprived of volume and like they've got submarginal volume, but they're like lean. And then you got these BP basement dwellers saying like, oh, this guy's lean, so he's got a good physique. No, if you're a skinny cell, if you got awful volume, then women don't have any primal for this. And this is why I was going quite hard on face IQ in the video. In fact, let's bring up his the video of him where he's like, you can see how skinny he is. I know I show it in.
Yeah, and Face IQ has a tendency to overrate men who are like in the modeling industry, and he like underrates guys who actually have primal in the real world with real women. That's what Road to 1% was saying, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah,
he was
100%.
He was saying Elias Depew is more premium than Brad Pitt. In no world this is true. Just even look at the woman Elias Depew is dating, and look at the woman Brad Pitt has dated.
Exactly,
Like,
and
fair
that's
enough,
because me and
but-
you have had the exposure in real life to know who actually gets more premium treatment, and we've looked at more
if
real world
Brad Pitt-
couples as well.
Right. If Brad Pitt, this is the thing. If Brad Pitt had no clout and Elias Depew had no clout, Brad Pitt would date a woman who has premium body, premium face. Elias Depew, he's gonna date some skinny, pretty face woman. That's what's gonna happen in the real world. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that because I've noticed that
Elias-
the guys who have a low primal body, they usually end up with women who's got low primal body as well.
Yeah. They have like so. Elias Depew, he lacks the sex appeal.
Exactly, and this is why I think that
Yeah.
Road to 1%, this guy's premium. I don't care what anyone else says. Road to 1% is premium as a whole package. Like, okay, some people might nitpick and say like, oh, but he's above average in the face. It's not premium face. But in terms of overall primality, Road to 1%, like I know for a fact that he's the type of guy that DGs have very high primal for. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's got like the threshold in terms of face, physique, and height. That's
And HM,
acceptable.
he's hypermasculine, bro. Hypermasculine always gives you way high primal among DGs.
Yeah.
If you took the HM away, like the hypermasculine, so he had a smaller skull, no stubble, like more round face, all of this stuff, then no way he would be HM and no way would he get as much primal from DG women.
Yeah, like Road to 1% would have far higher primal than Elias Depew, for sure.
Yeah, and way higher primal than face IQ as well. Yeah, like I think that Road to 1% Mogs, if I had to choose who I'd want to be, on let's say if there was a competition that you have to like go to a club and pull one woman. If I had to choose between either showing up to this club as Face IQ or showing up as Road to 1%, I'd choose Road to 1% every time.
Yeah. Just imagine Face IQ shirtless, and imagine Road to 1% shirtless. Who do you
Yeah, I
think
know.
women are gonna lust over more?
I know. But yeah, exactly. But you got
Yeah,
these basement dweller Looksmaxxers who'll be like, oh, but that's male gaze, bro. That's male gaze, bro. No, it's not male gaze. Like, I've seen it firsthand because, um, like, okay, for me personally, like, my body, on camera, it doesn't look as good, but I've got decent volume. Um, and I know that a lot of women have primal for my body. And I've seen it firsthand in real time that the primal from a woman is increased once she's seen, like, my body and I take my shirt off. Have you noticed this happen as well, Selim?
yeah, absolutely. And because I think we both have above average physiques for sure. So
Exactly, and it
yeah,
definitely does
and
increase the
I've had,
primal. But I've
right,
also
and I've
heard
had
stories from women who have said that like they've
yeah,
been guys with low primal bodies, and the guy's taken off his top, and they've actually reduced the amount of primal that they've had for him.
yeah. This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
If he has gyno or like some severe
Oh
condition.
yeah, that's cuckoo. Yeah, or love
Yeah.
handles.
And I just wanted to say I've had like okay, so I would say like what do you rate my physique? You say is it upper marginal or lowest premium possible?
I would say it's premium in terms of proportions, but upper marginal, like marged to upper marginal in terms of volume.
Fair enough. Just okay, so based on these basement dwellers, that physique doesn't matter. And explain how a lot of short-term encounters I've had was just me basically posting the physique and women inviting me straight to their house. Would this happen if I didn't have the physique? No.
100%. Yeah. Imagine if Face IQ uploaded a shirtless picture to his IG. Would even one woman, have primal for this?
Probably not. No.
They wouldn't. But imagine if Road to 1% did this. Like, if he's got like a lot of followers of girls on his IG, then at least a couple of them would feel primal to that like straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'd say this is one of the biggest copes in the BP community that they think like, oh, physique doesn't matter. That's not true. It does matter, but it's not doesn't matter as much as RP guys like Scamza would have you believe. They're like, oh, once you get the 10 out of 10 body, then everything falls into place and you get your high value woman.
No, that's
No, that's cap as well. Like it's something in the middle that if getting a physique definitely does help, but not as much as Scamza would have you believe.
and you definitely need to have the minimum threshold for face and not be too short as well.
Yeah, exactly. I would say once you're marginal face and let's say you're 6 foot tall, I'd say getting the premium physique probably brings you up to upper marginal as a whole.
Yeah. If I had to choose between being 6 foot premium physique versus 6'4" and a face IQ's physique, I would choose the 6 foot premium physique every single time. In
100%.
fact,
Bro, that's not even a
I would,
question. Like
I would
anyone,
choose.
bro, I want to do a poll on the stream just to see how many
Focus.
basement dweller copers there are in this community. This will be proof of how many basement dweller copers there are. If I ask, what would they rather be? Face IQ body and 6'4" or 6 foot and premium body. And I'm gonna make it clear within the question that you can't pick the face IQ body and then improve it to premium later from Maxing. No, you're gonna stay at this skinny cell body for forever, for your whole life.
Well,
Right.
I think for face IQ, it's going to be quite difficult to improve his body, even like naturally. That is naturally because his baseline isn't really like he might get it to marginal, but I just don't see him getting it to upper marginal based on his genetics.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you probably get to marginal physique, but I don't think he'd get better than that.
Yeah. So are you doing this poll?
Yeah.
I also think Road to 1%. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but you kind of overrated me, bro, when I bought your face rating. But anyways, who cares?
Okay. And now I'm about to start this poll, and I will say that there is an answer to this. So if you answer, actually no, I'll just start. I'll start the poll first because I don't want to be, influencing the answers. Okay, the votes are coming in. So we've got somewhere between one in. I don't know. The percentages are changing too quickly for me. Oh, it's actually gone higher now than I thought. Wow, that's a lot of deluded people in this audience. The percentages were staying at about 20% at first, but now it's 40% of saying that they would go for face IQ body and 6'4". Now it's adjusting to about 35%. So roughly around 1 in 3 are saying they would rather have face IQ's body and 6'4" over the premium body and 6 foot height. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did, and I think it's not true.
Yeah, I know. This is what I said. Like, there is an answer to this. There's no opinion. This is just a fact. This is, delusion. If you voted for the first option, you are wrong. You are wrong. And me and you know that because we've had exposure. We've seen who is objectively higher SMV in the real world. And people be like, oh, 6'4" is mega height though. Okay, but I've also seen these same guys with the lanklet physique who are 6'4" get rejected for being lanklets. Women have told me, to me personally, they've said like, oh, I don't like how skinny that guy is. I don't have, they're paraphrasing, I don't have primal for him. They reject him because of his poor frame. But if you're 6 foot tall, it's very rare you're going to get rejected for your height because you're already good enough. You're 6 foot. And if you've got the premium body, that's giga high primal. That's giga high primal.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is, yeah.
If you have HM face as well, like good face and HM.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is why. Like, I knew that there'll be a lot of deluded idiots in this poll. Like, I'm sorry to say, but okay, the percentages settled in at 37% now. Voted for the first option. That's 37% of my audience that I'm never gonna have respect for. Like, if you're voting this option in this poll, then I don't care whatever other opinions you have for anything, because I'm just already got this vision in my mind that you're some basement dweller idiot who has no real world experience, no real world exposure and wisdom of what guys are actually attractive, primarily attractive, get premium treatment from women. It's just not worth listening to opinions that you have on other subjects because you're just wrong on this.
Some guy said, and some 6 foot guys will be rejected for only being 6 foot. Come on, man.
Oh, come on. Okay, maybe like if the woman is 5'11", but the vast majority of girls who are 5'5", they don't have they actually want a guy who's 6 foot.
Most girls who are 5'11" would happily accept a 6 foot guy because they have less leverage than the girls who are 5 foot, 4 to 5'9".
I know. Okay, so this guy said, so you're saying if you're sub 5 face, it's not over for you if you gym max and you're a good height? No. If you're sub 5 face, you're always going to get rejected for that. We said that you got to be at least marginal face, and then, then that's when your height and physique starts multiplying in a good way. So basically what it means is that when you're sub-marginal face or lower, then oftentimes your other factors that should be, in theory, be a positive for you, they're just compensating factors. They're not seen as multiplying positive factors, they're seen as compensating factors. It's like, oh, this guy is a bad face, so he had to go to the gym to try and improve his attractiveness. But when a guy's at least marginal face or higher, then it gives off the energy that, wow, this guy, he's got a decent enough face, and he's really attractive in terms of his body, so it makes him even better. It brings him up to upper marginal. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think in order for you to not get rejected, you need to have at least marginal face. Like, if a girl has to look at you within the first 2 seconds, she has to be like, okay, this guy's face is not off-putting. If she's like, the face is off-putting, then it's gonna ruin your chances.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that submarginal face is the first tier where it's negative primal. I would say that upper marginal face is positive primal. Marginal face means neutral primal. There's like no primal feelings, not good and not bad. But then once you are submarginal or below, then this is negative primal.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
it starts being discussed.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But like
You both can have
ideally,
primal at the same time.
wait, go for a set. Go and say what you said.
I said you can have primal and disgust at the same time, but like just given the fact how rigged the markets are, like women aren't going to be putting up with a high primal, high disgust situation.
Yeah, they aren't. I agree. All right.
A girl's has a body and she has a submarginal face. Like you can have primal for her and disgust at the same time, but since you're a man and you have basically no leverage in the dating market, you might go for her. But like imagine a woman. Imagine a woman who has like 100 times your leverage. Is she gonna go for that? No.
100%. Yeah, just because of the rigged market. Um.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else we need to talk about on this stream? Is there anything else
I
you
don't
wanted
know. I
to
think
bring up?
we basically said everything possible. Except
All
we
right.
didn't really answer the chat. We kind of ignored the chat, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't really care. If 37% of the chat thinks that face IQ, his physique is acceptable, and his height is worth it, to not have the premium physique instead at 6 foot height, then I wouldn't want to risk reading comments from that 37% who are just way off, way off.
Some guys said AT is S5 though, like the influencer AT. Yeah, maybe, but he'd still have higher primal than face IQ. Do you agree?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd say Andrew Tate is maybe the only exception to, I don't think he's not junk face. I would say he's somewhere between SM face and M face.
and yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard to tell if he's SM or M, a submarginal or marginal, but he's got premium height and he's got premium physique, so he would still
yeah.
have
He
primal
does
from some women, in spite of
for sure.
you know, very just about SM face.
Yeah, I think what's his name? Face IQ was also gonna have primal just because of the high halo and the
Yeah,
pheno halo. He's got too many halos, so he's gonna have some primal from some woman for sure.
yeah,
It's just that
especially with
yeah,
regard to non JBWs, bro. Imagine how much primal he would get from non JBWs.
yeah, especially the Asians. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything, so we'll end the stream here.
yeah. All right.
All right, man. Good chat. All right. See ya.
Yeah, good shot.
Bye bye.
Bye. Hello.